Welcome to the first global conference of the Doctoral Midwifery Research Society, being held in partnership with the Royal College of Midwives. The DMRS was established in 2007 with a grant from the Northern Ireland Research and Development Office, as it was known then. The main aim of the DMRS was to provide a platform for midwives and others to share research findings and developments, with particular emphasis on the relevance and applicability of outcomes to clinical practice, education, policy and theory development. Membership of the DMRS is open to all, with a full range of categories available. A major new development took place in July 2010 when the RCM Council approved a formal partnership between the DMRS and the RCM with a specific aim to promote midwifery research locally, nationally and internationally, and to make midwifery research count. The video footage you're about to see was filmed during the comfort breaks of the first global DMRS RCM conference, when we took our first steps to gently explore the meaning of midwifery research to our membership. We are extremely grateful to all who consented to participate. Please enjoy and please join our new DMRS RCM partnership.
I'm sure it has, because if only because it's come into existence over my lifetime. But the amount of midwifery research has increased vastly over my career, and the quality, I think, has got better overall. I think one of the exciting things is, given that midwifery is a hybrid discipline in research terms, in that we all have different research method skills, we now have a vast range of expertise as well as a lot of research findings. So we've midwife sociologists, midwife statisticians, midwife anthropologists, midwife physiologists, midwife psychologists, and we're using the tools of a lot of academic disciplines to answer very fundamental midwifery questions, and questions that latch into the relationship between midwifery and the work of other professions. So I think we've got broader and we've also got deeper, and undoubtedly the value has increased both to us, to childbearing women and to adjacent professions.
"25 years ago there were very few midwifery researchers, and then things changed, and we had the example of Jenny Sleep, who questioned our practice, our midwifery and obstetric practice with regard to perineal care, and she questioned why perineal care was being done the way it was, and she had the courage to look and see how things could be done better, to work out what was being done. And I think she's the example really that all midwifery researchers should look to and try to emulate, because what she now has done is to put into practice much more effective midwifery care, and that's what midwifery researchers are looking to do, is to produce midwifery practice which is based in sound, robust evidence, which is relevant. And I think Jenny Sleep's example is something that we all need to follow.
A short answer would be no. Every day in my practice I'm faced with questions from my colleagues, by myself, question practice, and sometimes also from the women. And I would say that at the stage in my career that I'm at, I'm becoming more questioning, and I'm finding that there are more questions that I feel that I would like to have more evidence, so that I could base my answers to women colleagues and to myself on that evidence. So I would say no. I think there should be more research done more midwifery research done to help me in my practice.
I think what I consider to be most important is actually midwives conducting the research and being leaders in research. I think there is a general consensus that midwives do need to build their research capacity, and in building research capacity we can increase the generation of evidence with which to underpin practice, and in doing so improve the quality of care and patient safety, of course. And I think that midwives have historically had a tendency to be a bit anxious about research, and I think it's really, really important that we as midwives go out there and conduct research if we've got an interest in it. And I think that's the important bit, is that actually midwives doing their own research, rather than it being academics being the leaders in research or obstetricians being the leaders. You know, they're very, very valid, don't get me wrong, but I think that midwives do need to actually take the lead and build up a midwifery knowledge with which to underpin practice.
I think as a manager, midwifery research is so important to keep midwives interested, working at evidence-based practice, being part of evidence-based practice and being involved in how we actually can change practice. So as a manager, I will be encouraging midwives to attend conferences, to continue their continual professional development by undertaking research roles, by taking masters, by undertaking their doctorates, and being supportive and encouraging, seeking out opportunities for them to look for funding, to look for opportunities, and to try and develop what we would call the tall poppies, to steer them into research and encourage them for their specialist interest topics, and making sure that we have paths for those midwives when they come out the other end.
I would say two things, I think. The first thing is that they need to look at their practice, and they need to be considering what questions that they've got which really excite them from their practice. What do they want to look at which would help them to develop their practice, to develop the care that they will provide for women or for families. The second thing I think I would say to them is that they need to be careful about the question that they choose to research, because as I think illustrated in my research career, that these topics stay with you for a long time. And people, once you've published about the particular topic, people will contact you and maintain or help to maintain your interest in the topic over many, many years.
Well, I've been involved in one of the research studies that was presented in the conference today, which related to remifentanil, the remifentanil use in labour, and it was really interesting in practice whenever I was involved in the documentation of it, and it sort of just brought it to light, you know, how important it was in the research process, being able to document accurate records and being able to see the relevance of it whenever it's applied and then presented to the conference here, and how it actually related to practice for the midwives here and how they were able to interpret that.